Hello, I am Jack Kuzma, and you're watching Talk to Me, a Prowl radio interview segment. And today I am here with Mike Szynski of Kill Lincoln and Bad Time Records and Uncle Style Records and anything else I'm forgetting on that.
That's plenty. That's more than enough.
All right, well, let's just hop into my first question then, and that is about the Bad Time Records tour, which just got announced last month
hmm
and seems incredible. I wanted to ask, how was it organizing the tour this time? Like, how did you pick the bands who would go along with it? And how did you go about just planning it in general?
Yeah, that's a good question. So obviously we did the first, well, not obviously, maybe to some people, but we did the first Bad Time Records tour in 2023, and that was a really big undertaking. It was the first time we ever did a tour, with just bands on the label. So that was Kill Inc. and Catbite, We're the Union, and we tried a lot of things on that tour that wound up being really cool ideas that we said, hey, let's kind of build on that for the next time. So we decided to try to do it again because that tour was a really big success. Like people seemed really excited, and we all the shows were really good, and we wound up making the documentary about that tour. This is New Tone. It was a film that we kind of filmed all about that, and so we gave it a couple years. We waited a little bit. We kind of wanted to build excitement back up and not kind of do it too often. And decided to give it another try. So we're doing it full US, and we're also going to the UK. We're calling that Bad Time Tour as well. But yeah, it's Kill Lincoln, Jer, and Bad Operation, and we decided to try to mix it up and make the three headlining bands a little different this time. Kind of bring up the next quote unquote generation of Bad Time, even though we're all kind of the same generation or whatever. And then the opening bands, I again wanted to mix it up, make it a little different from last time. But also there are certain bands that I wanted to highlight that have, new music coming out, even if they couldn't be on the whole tour. Like a band like the Doom Stompers from New York, they have a new record coming out. Their first record is coming out this summer, and they just joined the label, and they're just going to play with us in New York. And bands like I don't want to spoil anything, but well, okay, so I won't. I had to catch myself. So I'm excited. We have the Pumps doing a lot of the dates with us. We have Flying Raccoon Suit doing a lot of the dates. Where you're at, and you're in Wisconsin, right?
Yes, we're in Milwaukee, so we have the best of the
yeah,
worst, who put out an
yes.
incredible album last year. Absolutely
That's
rad.
who I was just gonna mention. I love the best of the worst, and they haven't been to the Midwest in like over. I think it's been like 15 years or something like that. It's crazy. So I'm really happy to have them on those shows, and in some places I wanted to mix it up. I didn't want to have it like be just bands that people in certain cities see all the time. It would be easy to get a Midwest band in the Midwest, but I was like, well, what if people got to see a different band? So that I thought that would be cool. So and also I have to shout out Brent Friedman, who is the booking agent for most of the Bad Time bands, and he really is the one working super duper hard on getting the shows booked and on the promotion and all the behind the scenes logistical stuff that it takes to get it done. So big shout out to Brent. Brent plays drums in Omnigon. He used to play drums for We Are the Union. So he's been friends with all of us for a very long time. So
Hell yeah. I mean, I'm super excited to see Best of Worst myself because I got into
yeah,
them a couple years ago and they only ever toured the East Coast. I've been dying to see them
yeah.
forever. My next question is actually about This Is New Tone. What was your experience like directing your first feature-length movie? And also just what were your inspirations around creating it, even having it exist?
The inspiration for making, well, yeah, complicated questions because I've worked in like production, video production for a long time. Like that was my day job before I quit it to do Bad Time and Kill Lincoln. But I still do a lot of video production stuff. So I edit and I direct and blah, 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 all that stuff. But this was the first time I ever did a full length movie. And I didn't really like think of it as, oh, I'm directing a movie. I have to do something different. I just kind of like said we should do this and just did it. We had a plan, and me and Ray Mystic, who was the director of photography on the movie, like we had a lot of planning calls about what kind of things we were going to get and in what way, but I didn't really like have like the exact structure of the movie in my head until we really did like the first leg of the tour. And then I was like, okay, I know what this is going to be like. So I was really just sort of like flying by the seat of my pants, if you will. So I tried not to overthink it and just capture it as like well as we could, you know, make sure that the shows were captured technically well and sounded good and looked good. And then I figured once we had that and got enough behind the scenes stuff, everything else would kind of fall into place, and it did. So yeah, and my inspiration for that was like, you know, growing up and when I was getting into ska and punk music, like, and it's even more so important today, but like video is so important, right? And it's like you want to go and watch a band's music videos, but you also want to go look a band up, like a band that you can't see all the time. Like for you, like the Best of the Worst, like at least you can go look them up on YouTube, right? And like you can kind of see what they're like live. Like when I was coming up, it was like movies that did that, and it was like I'd have to go to like, you know, like Tower Records and like get the DVD of Real Big Fish at the House of Blues, and like that's how I got to see Real Big Fish. Like I feel like I sound like a dinosaur, like talking about pre-YouTube times, but that's kind of like what we did. And I was like, yeah, it's cool to put up clips and everything, but like to have like a well done like multi-camera live concert experience captured felt like something really important. And yeah, there are obviously lots of great, you know, ska documentaries and movies and that were certainly inspirations, but that was really the big thing. I was like, people need to see these bands and like see and feel the live experience. So that was like the big inspiration to do it.
Hell yeah. This is kind of a long shot, but I did want to ask, is there plans for This Is New Tone 2 just in a live album sense?
Like a second, like a follow-up?
Yeah.
No, there are no plans. It was a really big, like getting, like what we wound up doing was crazy, right? And it was only possible because we did that Kickstarter thing. Like, honestly, people are like, wow, you raised $80,000. Like, you must be, wow, like you got paid for that. I was like, all that money went like that. like we had to hire a sound engineer to come with us and record and mix every single show, right? Like even just that is a crazy expense. It's just not something that, and I definitely don't want to do another Kickstarter because like Kickstarters are cool. They make your dream project come true, but they are a huge pain in the butt. And it's a lot. It's like a full-time job just to manage and fulfill a Kickstarter. So there's not going to be a second one. We might try to do something fun on this tour to like do a little follow-up kind of mini movie, but there's not going to be like a whole other live record at the moment. There's no plans at the moment. I don't want to say never, but at the moment.
Fair enough. That's a large undertaking. My next question is about Uncle Sal Records, which is the sub-label to Bad Time Records. I want to ask, what were your inspirations around creating it, having another label to work with? And also, what are your plans for it in the future?
These are good questions that I don't have all the answers to, especially the what is the future of it. But I don't know, I have a lot of ska friends, but I have a lot of friends that are in not ska bands. And I felt like it was important to keep Bad Time a ska-focused label. And one of the things I love about ska punk is, you know, as an umbrella term, is that it can mean so many things. It can be like a band like the Best of the Worst, who's like doing metalcore and hardcore and a little bit of ska and mixing it up, and then a band like Catbite, who's like more traditional ska, two-tone, and then Jer, who's blending hip-hop and like and beats and like all this other kind of stuff. So it can be so many things, but I feel like it's still, things on Bad Time still have to have that like root in referencing ska, right? So I didn't want to like, I had so many friends who would be like, well, if we write a single ska song, like will you put out a record on Bad Time? And it felt so like weird to me to be like, well, I guess technically yeah, but I don't want to make you like write a piece of music just so you can fit it just seemed a little backwards to me. So I was like, well, why don't I create like another name or another label that's really, it's really just bad time, but it's just to denote that something is not ska. It's like whatever, you know. And actually the ironic thing is that like some of the bands on Uncle Style do have ska songs. Like on their like Eat Defeat has like a really really good ska song. It's actually two on their record. So it's like I just wanted to leave myself open to if I wanted to, and if something was a good fit, and they were, you know, good friends, that I could put out other types of music and not have to worry about the ska, you know, label or whatever. So yeah, and I have no idea where it's going in the future. The bands that are on it right now are awesome and work really hard, and but also it's a lot managing one label, so kind of managing two and growing them as separate communities, like it's complicated. So yeah, not sure where it's going in the future. Good question.
I really hope to see more releases from it, just because that Eat the Feet record, and specifically, that's one of my favorite records you've ever put out. Those songs
Thanks.
on it are crazy underrated. People don't talk about it at all,
Yeah.
and
I
that we live in a society. That song, that ska song, that
yeah.
absolutely rips. One of my favorites.
It's so good. Yeah. I do agree that they're one of the most underrated bands, I think, that I know. Yeah. So such a good band.
Well, my next question is about both Bad Time Records and Uncle Style, and what have been the challenges in running those two labels, and what have you learned in the process of running them?
I think one of the biggest challenges is that it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of your time and attention, like to run like a DIY record label. And like DIY, it's like, yeah, there's a lot of people in the community and like we really do it together as a community, but day to day, like it's just me. Like I respond to the customer service, I ship out the orders, I submit all the records to press, I'm doing all the accounting, like everything, all the social media, like and it's hard work and there's not a lot of money in it. Like it's not a big money maker, so I actually wind up having to work a lot of like part-time gigs, you know, like I do like video production still, like all this other stuff. So that's one of the biggest challenges, is trying to like, you know, be all in on it but also still trying to make a living. And you know, it's just, yeah, it's just consuming and working in the quote unquote music industry. I think like, you know, is difficult for a lot of reasons. And I think a lot of people don't really, when I tell people, when they're like, oh, what do you meet somebody new and they're like, oh, what do you do? And I say, well, I run a record label. They're like, what does that mean? Like, what do you mean? They like kind of don't understand. And it's hard to explain in a couple sentences with a random person. So that's just another weird challenge too. But yeah, it's tough. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of logistics. You know, literally trying to figure out how to get like a pallet of records on a big truck down my driveway when it's covered in snow. You know, it's like that's a challenge. So like
Yeah.
everything is like a new challenge.
Well, God bless you for spreading the word of ska, you know, doing all this work.
I try.
About the releases you do, there's such a wide range of styles. Like there's Cat Behind the Palms doing like popular, synthier stuff. There's Omnigon, the Best of Worst doing hardcore. So I want to ask, like, how do you decide what the next release will be on Bad Time Records, or how do you find new bands to add to the label?
I've been lucky enough that I have a lot of things sent to me, so I'm not really actively like going and pursuing certain bands. Like I'm not hitting up, you know, Devin K and being like, Devin, where's the next record? You know, like I'll wait until like when a band that's already been part of the label is ready, they'll reach out, or a lot of times I'll get introduced to a newer band that I don't know directly, like via someone I know. So that's usually how it goes. I'll have somebody on the label, or Brent, or you know, I got a text from Dave from Mustard Plug, and he's like, hey, you should check out this local band in Michigan, like they're great. And I'm like, oh cool, and I'll go check them out. And then he'll say, well, can I put you in touch with them? They want to send you their new record. And I'll say, sure. You know, so it's kind of stuff like that. And I also get a lot of submissions via email, and I'll listen to all of them, and I try to respond to all of them because it meant a lot to me when I was sending out demos to labels, like to get any kind of response that was like that meant a lot to me. And one of the things I remember is the first Kill Lincoln record, You Were There, I sent out to Mike Park. And he actually responded. He was like, "This isn't a good fit for Asian Man, but like, thanks for sending it, and keep it up or whatever." And that meant a lot to me. I was like, "Oh, cool." And I'd sent that to 20 labels, and he was the only one that responded, right? So that was cool. But yeah, there's a lot of different ways, but I just kind of see what comes up, and if it seems like a good fit, I'll kind of slot it into my next release window, and I just keep building out that calendar. And that's why it's hard. The calendar kind of builds pretty far in advance, so sometimes a band will come at me with a great record, and I'll say, well, I could put it out, but I could put it out in a year, and most bands don't want to wait a year, so timing has a lot to do with it too.
Yeah, well, to finally move on to Kill Lincoln and off of the label stuff, you worked with Mike Park, and I wanted to ask, like, you've worked with Mike Park, Less Than Jake, and a bunch of other, like, very famous either from the past or present ska bands, and how has it been working with other bands? What specifically stands out to you?
Yeah, I mean, well, with Mike Park, through Kill Lincoln, Mike has become, ever since we worked on Ska Against Racism, the compilation we did in 2020, Mike's become a really good friend and like a spiritual advisor and mentor. There's nobody better to get advice from about running a DIY record label, because he's been doing it for over 30 years. But yeah, he's been a good friend, and he introduced us to Ryan at District Recording in San Jose, which is where Kill Lincoln did our last two records. We did Can't Complain there, we did No Normal there. Mike wrote a song for us for that record. He actually found out we were recording at District and that we were doing a new record, and he just reached out to me and he said, "Hey, can I write a song for your record?" And I was like, "Yeah, are you kidding?" Like, "Yeah, sure." So he sent me this like phone demo of him playing like an out-of-tune acoustic guitar, and it was cool because he left it open to interpretation. He wrote it and he said, "Here, do whatever you want with it," and we made it work. And then when we went to record, Mike came down for the day and hung out with us, and he sang the gang vocals on the track too, which was really exciting for everybody in the band. So yeah, it's cool to there's that phrase that's like, don't meet your heroes or whatever, but I'm really lucky that most of the people who are my childhood ska heroes that I've gotten to meet have like exceeded my expectations for meeting your heroes. So it's been really cool.
Oh yeah, I also want to talk about Kill Lincoln. It's a band that's been around for a while and has gone through various lineups and various styles. What led that evolution of your style to kind of become shorter, faster punker? And do you ever see yourself returning to the previous style of like the older and longer songs?
No. We're never going back. That's just been like me as like a more critical music consumer, I think. Like early on in the band, I think like me and Matt Hotez, who's the original trombone player who I started the band with, we kind of had this concept in our heads that we kind of unspokenly agreed to, that was like, we just want to do as much stuff as we can. He's like, I'm tired of bands that write simple horn parts in ska punk. Like, I want to write crazy horn parts. I want to like do everything, and I want to do harmonies and little trills and runs, and I was like, yeah, and I want to write like breakdowns and ska parts, and it has to have 4 verses, and the chorus has to repeat 8 times, and whatever, like we had all these like set ideas of things we want to cram in. And then you look at that first record, yeah, all the songs are like 4 or 5 minutes long, and I'm not ashamed of those songs, and we play a lot of them live, still some of them, but it's just not what I really like enjoy as a music listener. Like, I like short, fast, loud songs. Like, one of my favorite ska bands growing up was Catch-22, right? And like Keys Me Night's Catch-22, like the original version, not the Streetlight version, no shade, but the original is the best, was just like raw. It was fast songs, like catchy, and I was like, why don't I try to do more of that? so with each Kill Lincoln record, I think we made this conscious decision to like make things more concise and make things more like compact, which also makes the live show more fun. We became more of a live band. We started touring so much that we didn't want to play those long songs live, because they're really hard to get through. So me and Matt Ellis, who would do a lot of Food, do a lot of the songwriting now. Like, I'll write something and I'll send it to Food, and he'll be like, cut that, cut that, cut that. And now it's like, shoop, a nice, short, tight song, which lends itself to the live show and just, I think, works a little bit better. So no, I don't see us going back to the longer, unless we have a really good reason or a really good idea. I feel like I really like our current sound and style, and it's really fun, and it's really fun to play live, which I think is one of the most important things.
Yeah, I mean, as I said before the interview, but Kill Lincoln's one of my favorite ska bands. I love that whole wide range of styles, even the earlier stuff, because I do think it's a very unique sound. But I love where you've gone now with like just the quick in and out. Like No Normal is a 25-minute album. I love that. That's awesome.
It's very short, yeah.
But my next question is, what were the influences throughout this various eras of Kill Lincoln, like from the early stuff to now? Where do you see inspiration coming from?
It's hard to trace like different inspiration throughout the history of the band, but when I first started writing ska music, ska punk music, it was all about the Boss Tones, Catch 22. There was a little bit of like Less Than Jake in there, but not as much as some people think, because we've gotten a lot of those like comparisons, but it really wasn't as much as people probably think. But I also wanted to I was really into like hardcore. My cousin got me into a lot of hardcore bands and easycore. Like, got into the Gorilla Biscuits, I got into Kid Dynamite, I got into Painted Black and Lifetime and Set Your Goals. So like I really wanted to incorporate all that stuff into the ska too. And I think like over time, more than anything else, I've been influenced by the bands in our scene, so like a band like The Best and the Worst is a huge inspiration. Like seeing them and hearing them, I was like, man, I want to do more riffs. Like I want to have more breakdowns like The Best and the Worst. Or like hearing a band like Catbite and be like, wow, like their choruses are really tight and catchy. And so I think I've been influenced by the bands in our scene more than anything else, over the past couple of years in the band, for sure.
How did you end up getting on The Best of the Worst, their album from last year? How did you end up getting a feature on that record?
Oh, they just asked me. I moved back to the East Coast maybe 3 years ago. So I'm in New York. So I'm not that far from where they were recording in Jersey. And they've been really good friends of mine for a long time. And Jay just hit me up one day and was like, hey, like we have like Joe and I have this idea for you to do a feature on a track. And like, would you want to come down and do it? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. It's hard when somebody asks me to do a feature or something. I don't do a lot of them because I don't really have a good recording setup at home. Like I kind of do, but I kind of don't. So the fact that I could like go, and it was only like an hour and a half or something, like go to their studio and do it with them, like with a real recording engineer, like made it really possible. And I thought their idea was really cool. Like the fact that they were referencing No Normal a little bit. And then it was like the lyrics from Civil Surgery, but in like a different way, and then like mix it. I just thought it was such a cool idea, and I loved that callback. So that was really fun.
Some of my favorite releases on Bad Time Records have been the compilations you've done, specifically The Shape of Ska Punk to Come Volume 2. People don't talk about that one enough. Like every song on that is fantastic. And I want to ask, do you ever see Bad Time Records doing another compilation like The Shape of Ska Punk to Come or a Ska Against Racism, where you get a bunch of bands? Do you ever see that happening again in the future?
Yeah, I love comps. I mean, comps were really important to me coming up, and I feel like comps are a great way to learn about new bands. I've kicked around ideas of another Shape of Ska Punk. It's just hard to get together. It's just a lot of work. It's a logistical challenge. I'm not sure how those records even came together, because like to get new songs from all those bands, it seems crazy now, because that's so much work. And Ska Against Racism too, that was just like a Herculean effort between me, Mike Park, and Ska Punk Daily. It's just all kind of like, it was a right place, right time kind of thing, and for the right reasons. So I love compilations. There will be a Bad Time compilation being announced in like 2 weeks. It's related to the tour, and it's mostly new music, which is really cool. So yeah, I love comps, and I'm definitely not opposed to doing another shape of ska punk. I actually actively want to. It's just about timing, and getting that right. So we'll see.
Hell yeah. My next question is a question I got from Ryan Kaczynski of I think I pronounced his last name correctly, Kozak from the Best of the Worst, a bass
Yeah.
player. He wanted to ask,
Letting him ask the questions. I don't
yeah,
know. I don't know about this.
his question is who wins in the ska battle, East Coast or West Coast?
Oh, you're gonna get me in so much trouble. I mean, how could I not say the East Coast? Only because that's where I'm from. That's where I rap. I spent a lot of time on the West Coast. I love the West Coast. No shade. But we coming up. I had Big D in the kids table and Catch 22 turning into Streetlight, and got so many good shows and bills. So many bands that I got to see all the time. But also like Midwest has a killer fucking ska scene, like Mustard Plug, Suicide Machines. Like there's so many good bands. It feels wrong to pick a side, but I love the East Coast, and I love that I came up with so much ska and got to see so many of those bands. So East Coast, gotta go with the East Coast. That was Kozak asking me he's just trying to get me in trouble on purpose. That's what he's doing.
Well, to kind of expand on that question, what are just some of your favorite artists and bands in the ska scene right now, both on Bad Time Records and off Bad Time Records?
My favorite bands wind up becoming a part of Bad Time because they're my favorite bands, and I'm really fortunate that I can quote unquote get them or whatever. But bands like Sorry Sweetheart, like I've been talking about them for a couple of years, like because I got to see them back in Denver, and I think they're so much fun, and the way they blend ska and pop punk and hardcore is really, really awesome. And the Doom Stompers are one of my favorite new bands. Like Kay has been a friend for a very long time, and it's so cool to see her taking this role as front woman for a really excellent band. And like I can't wait for people to hear the Doom Stompers record because it's maybe not what they're expecting. It's like 60% trad and then like 40% like Choking Victim. It's sick. It's awesome. So those are two like newish bands. I guess Sorry Sweetheart's not new, that I really like. Other good bands from the Midwest. The Boy Detective is a great band.
I love the Boy Detective so much.
The Boy Detective's a great band. Joker's Republic is a great band. From California, a band called Chudson is really cool, and they're like young as hell and like doing the damn thing, and I love to see it. There's tons of great bands. There's on and off the label. So
hell yeah. Well, I only really have like one more question for you. What do you see in the future for Kill Lincoln? Like what's coming up besides the Bad Time tour that you can talk about? I'm aware you don't want to spoil anything, but anything you can talk about, please feel free to mention.
Well, we have a lot going on this year. I think more than we've done in even the past couple years. We're doing the whole Bad Time tour. We're doing a UK tour. We're doing a long weekend in Canada with the Suicide Machines and the festival we're doing up there. There might be a festival at the end of the year, which, wink, wink, we might be doing. I'm not supposed to say that, I guess. The Bad Time tour takes up a lot of the time. We're busy this year. What's beyond that? I don't really know. Maybe some rest eventually. Like, people keep asking me, oh, is there a new record coming out? It's like, I feel like No Normal, like, just came out, but I guess it was in 2024, but to me it feels really fresh still. I know people kind of demand like a record every year from bands, which I think is insane. But so there's no new Kill Lincoln record this year, I'm sorry to say, but will there be one in the future? I hope so. I hope there will be, so we'll have to see.
I think people are so anxious just because No Normal is so fast. Like it just happened, but it also ended before it started. It's a quick record.
It's a really quick, but it's still a lot of like those ideas were not quick to come by. It's like I've never been like a prolific songwriter. Like I look at somebody like Jeff Rosenstock, I'm like, how the F do you write so
You can
many
curse. You can curse on here.
Some people can write songs like that. It's like, oh, here's a song. I'm not like that. I never have been. It takes me a long time. Plus, I'm just like, if I'm really focused on Bad Time, it's like people can get one or the other. Like either I can really focus on Bad Time or I can give myself the space to focus on Kill Lincoln and new music. And it's hard to do both for me personally. So hopefully there will be some period at some point where I'm able to just like focus on new Kill Lincoln music, but not yet.
I know I just said last question, but now I'm curious. What is your personal favorite Kill Lincoln song?
Oh, what a good question. What's my personal favorite Kill Lincoln song? I'm not sure I know how to answer that. I think I'm most proud of I'm Fine, I Lied, because it kind of summed up everything I was feeling, but also everything music-wise I was like trying to pull out of the ether. Like it's short, it's catchy, it has like all the things Kill Lincoln likes to do. You know, it's like everything. And I was like, wow. And it just kind of magically came to me one day. Like I wasn't like, oh, I gotta write this. It just was like, boop, it was just there. And so I'm really like thankful that song exists. I guess that's my favorite. I don't know. There's also other songs on that record that I really, really like Buried Alive. I really like. Roll Me Away. I really like. I don't know. Yeah, it's one of the new ones, but I don't know which one it would be.
I agree on I'm Fine, I Lied. That's one of my favorites. I've listened to that song, no exaggeration, over 500 times.
Oh my god! Thank you for the 10 cents that.
Yes, the 10 cents from Spotify. I have 2 copies of No Normal, so I gave you money that way as well.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you for talking to me today. This has been Talk to Me, a Prowl Radio interview segment. Please promote everything you want to promote that you got going on before we close out the interview.
Yeah, I mean, just go check out badtimerecords.com. The new album from Sweetheart is coming out, or is maybe out by the time this comes out, and there's probably also another 1 or even 2 releases. It's going to be 2 more in this month, so
Ooh,
yeah,
exciting.
go check it out for exciting. I don't want to give anything away too soon, but yeah, go check it out, and yeah, follow us on the Instagram. Come out to the Bad Time Tour, badtimetour.com. It's pretty much everywhere, and we're going to be at X-Ray Arcade in August. I forget exactly which day.
The 20th, I think.
August.
20th or 21st.
August 20th. That sounds right. One of those. So we'll be at X-Ray Arcade in Milwaukee, and it's actually Kill Lincoln's first show ever in Milwaukee. We've
That's
never
crazy.
played. We always get to like Minneapolis and stop, or we go south or something. So we've never made it out there, and we're really excited. So yeah, I've heard great things.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here today. Thanks for our listeners or watchers for watching. And I hope everyone involved has a good rest of their day.
Let you know it's time to go.